So it's always kind of fun to go back and visit, old projects that I did. This is one of them. And here's what I did. They wanted hickory, so this is hickory material. Well, you can't buy hickory in 4-inch by 6-inch or whatever that turned out to be beams, and especially you can't get it dried. So this is all a GlueUp. You can look, if you look really, really closely, you might be able to see where the GlueUp was, but otherwise it's really solid. And then I put can't remember, it was a hickory top on it as well. All right, so that's how I made the posts on that. The railing was a double GlueUp. So this was, again, if you look really, really close, you can kind of see the joint in there. So that was a GlueUp. I left it slightly rustic. That's the way that's my style, I guess. And then you have to have a, look at that, that's almost like a tiger maple, but it's a hickory, right? But you have to have a grip on there. You have to have, by code, you have to have this indentation in there. So the one advantage to this type of system, the I-beam, is that it actually has the grip built right into it. You can see my fingers going around it. So this took a huge, huge router bit for me to make that dent in there. And I remember it chattering because this is hickory. So again, this would solve that problem because it becomes its own grab for a stairway. And then this one was just hickory pieces. Now again, each of these would go inside of there in the groove if we did it that way. So just kind of walk around the rest of it here. This is, these stairs are actually made up. Again, they wanted hickory, but you couldn't buy hickory beams. So this is a board. Each one of these here is a board, a hickory board, probably a 4/4 or 5/4. And then you can see here, there's a board going that way and a board going that way. So each step was made individually. And then I put the cap on the one end, no cap on the other end, right? And then set them on top of the stringer. So each one of those is just like a beam, only it's just that they're made up that way. So that's that stair system. I'm gonna take a walk up, see what we got upstairs. Here, to get the strength, you needed a post somewhere in the middle. And again, to get this on there somehow, because you have a railing going this way, and then it continues going like that, you've got to have these posts in between. And this is how I attached it. So I basically attached the railing to this block, had an exact measurement, and then the block I was able to attach to the post, and then you can see, fill the holes, right? Okay, you can still see that, but it worked really, really well. It's solid as a rock. I mean, this thing is so solid. And then again, my style is to keep a little bit of rusticity, so you can see that. Okay, here's some more of that railing. You can see that you've got to have that grip in there, that for your fingers to grab onto by code. And then up here, what we did, I don't know if I get a little more lighting up here, a little bit, but up here, what we did, instead of putting, the code requires that on a loft or on a railing, anything longer than such and such, that you have to have outlets at least and I think it's 6 feet or 8 feet, whatever the rule is, and outlets don't really work out very well in the floor. So what we did was, these are again built up posts. They're made from from a lamb. In other words, I make those up out of basically a square box they're hollow on the inside, and then put a cap on them. And again, that was all hickory. So because that was hollow, then the electrician can just pop their hole in here the same way they do into a wall, and go down into the area below, the joist area, run their wires, and this meets code, and it really works out well. And again, you don't have to put those expensive and kind of dysfunctional outlets in the floor. So this is the way the railing turned out up here. And with the I-beam work here, definitely, look at that. So basically the I-beam would just be right there. And again, you have two options. You can use the I-beam, you could use the I-beam up top, and then again at the bottom. That's one way of doing it. Or we basically separate that. We take that, we don't have the horizontal piece in there. Like right now, that's a piece of cherry, right? So instead it would be that top piece here, and that could be this 4/4 that we have. And then each of these spindles would go up into the groove. I'll do a drawing on that, but they would go, that would be how it would go. And then again, down here, the same thing at the bottom. You'd have this bottom flange right here. That would be here. And then that you'd still have the groove, but that's where you put the spacer in. And what happens is, the benefits of doing that, like on these right here, I think I use dominoes. I think there's a festool domino for each one of these to get them. And I remember that being really, really tough to build. So instead, what would happen here